Brain don't stop. 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 Brain don't stop.
Hello.
Brain don't stop.
Welcome, everyone. You are watching Chewed Gum. This is a show about rejecting purity culture, challenging misogyny, and the effects of religious trauma on women. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Taylor. How are you doing, Alyssa?
I'm good. I don't know. Just the woes of, we were literally just before, just the woes of like never feeling 100% anymore. What the hell is that?
I know. And I feel like winter doesn't help because it's always
Yeah.
dark.
I know. And I remember distinctly one night when I was a kid and I said to my mom something about like, I woke up in the middle, like it was like the first time that I remembered waking up in the middle of the night and like not fully sleeping through the night. And she was like, oh, wow, I forgot. Like, as a kid for a really long time, you sleep through the night. Like even as a teenager, you go to sleep and you like wake up and like you just have good sleep most nights. And I never forgot that because now I know what she's talking about. My ass is always up. It's too hot. It's too cold. I have to pee. I hear the dog. I hear something
Damn.
squeaking. I'm like, this is crazy.
I hate that because sleep affects literally everything.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't been rested in years.
Damn. That is
So
not
crazy.
good.
So annoying. Are you a good sleeper?
I don't like not so much in the past couple years, but before that, I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Like I would be on like a oh, wait, one thing I will say is for some reason when I'm on a plane, I'm done for.
Mhm.
Like I sleep the whole time. Like I have fallen asleep before the plane is off the runway. I don't know how, but
That's amazing.
yeah. It's kind of like I guess when people get into cars and they're just like falling asleep. I don't know, something about them.
Kevin is like that too. If he's on a plane, he just like knocks out immediately. And I'm like, that's amazing.
And
I'm so jealous.
I do remember one time I fell asleep before we took off and I woke up to us landing, so it was like the flight never happened, which is funny.
It's like anesthesia.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Well, today is February 24th, and it is a Tuesday, as we like to say. If you would like to call the show, you can call 720-619-2288, or you can use the web link that is in the description. And as a reminder, we have super chats that we'll read at the end of the show, super chats of $5 or more. And the State of the Union is this evening.
Are you watching it?
I think honestly, I'm gonna watch Jimmy's stream of it. Like I'm gonna do it that way because
Oh, cool. Yeah.
then it feels like I'm hanging out with my friends and I won't have to suffer through watching it by myself. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I think so because it'll be interesting to see exactly what he says because I know he's getting like they are telling him his ratings are bad. Like I heard him say the other day that he's like, I have a lot of silent support or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how much he hypes up things that he knows people aren't liking. Do you know what I mean? It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how much he's willing to like take it because I feel like he has to it's been pretty easy for him to ignore up until a certain point and now
Yeah.
it's I don't know.
But I feel like he's just going to get up on that stage. And it's like, part of me is like, I don't even, what's the point of even listening? Because he's going to get up on that stage and just
Yeah.
lie. He's going to be like, our job numbers are the best they've ever been. And gas is $1 and all this like crazy stuff. And it's like, I
Right.
don't know. He's just going to be lying.
Yeah. I know that's what I'm like wondering if he's still gonna be on that same level of everything or not, or if he's gonna chill. Probably not chill, but
I
we'll
don't
see.
know. We'll see. If you are watching this stream, please make sure that you like this video so we can push it out to the algorithm because we have only 287 people viewing and normally we have more than that. And so maybe we're not showing up in people's algorithms. So hit that like button. And if you hit that like button, that also means you're pushing us out to hopefully people who will call and have something crazy to say. Because we do love at least one crazy call.
I feel like people are probably preparing themselves to watch tonight.
Oh, I know. That is entirely possible. People are like, I can only handle so much crazy in one evening, and I'm
Yeah.
going to reserve it for the State of the Union. But if you do want to watch the State of the Union with Jimmy, I don't know who he's going live with. Actually, I'm not sure who's joining him or if it's just him. But he's going to be live after Chewed Gum. And we are going to do a little bit of a shorter show today. So, oh, okay, it's Ari going to be with him today. So that'll be fun, and I'll be watching, and I'll probably be in the comments. Oh, I'm in the middle, and this is my last like stupid thing, and then we can start to look at calls. I'm in the middle of doing like peel and stick tiles on my kitchen thing,
Ooh.
and so it's going kind of well, but one
Yeah.
thing that I realized I really fucked up on is it's like checkerboard.
Uh-huh. Oh no. Did you not line something up? I feel like I wouldn't know how to do that.
It's like too many times there's like two color pieces next to each other when it's supposed to be.
No. Yeah.
But
Damn.
it's like a rental and it's peel and stick tiles. So I'm trying to determine how
How much you
much
care
I
about
care.
it.
Yeah, it might just
I've always thought those look so fun for some reason.
peel and stick.
Yeah, I've always wanted to use them. I never have, but I'm like, every time I see people using them, I'm like, damn, that looks fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
It's and like, from a distance it looks okay. If you get close, it's like, okay, well that's obviously not tile.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a rental. So
Right.
for now, it's like fun and gets I don't know,
Yeah.
gives me something to do.
Yeah.
That makes
No,
me
I
sound
think
like
it
I'm
sounds
like a
cool.
bored housewife. Gives me something to do, like I don't have other things to do. But
Uh,
I'll find anything. My ADHD will find anything. I'm like, well, obviously I can't get this work done because I have to peel and stick tile my kitchen. Okay.
but sometimes I feel you on the old person thing because I'd be just pitter pattering around my house, and I'm like, what
Oh
am
my
I
God.
doing? And I'll be like in a
Pitter-pattering.
robe. I'll be like in a robe, pitter pattering around.
Just taking the robe and just like cuddling
Yeah.
in like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's like the whole vibe I've been bringing to the table. That's because we have fake jobs right now,
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
can do that.
Exactly.
So uh, sorry, I'm seeing. I'll check my requests. Okay. So, someone said for tiles, start in the middle of the room and work your way out.
I would not
That
have guessed that.
That's bold. Well, see, because I wanted it to line, it's like a backsplash. So I wanted it to line
Mhm.
up with the edge of the cabinet. And I
Yeah.
felt like that was not gonna, whatever. It just is what it is, and it might
Yeah.
look terrible, and whatever, it's
It's okay. You
fine.
tried. A for
It's
effort.
fine. And it also just has a little bit of me in there, It's
Yeah, you
just
got to make this place yours too.
exactly, a little character, if you will.
Yes.
So we have some calls in the queue. We also have some room for people to call in. So if you would like to call in, we do have lines that are open. Um, we do have one person who's calling and is a theist. Do we want to take that call first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's pull in our friend calling from Canada, who I would love to tell us how to pronounce your name. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Would you tell us how to pronounce your name, please?
It's Rajat.
Rajat. Okay. Nice to meet you. What did you want to talk about today?
So my topic is like ethno-religious nationalism, like so Christian nationalism as the topic of the live stream, I guess. So that nationalism is basically capitalism's bad cop, I guess. Yeah,
Christian
that
nationalism.
is what I.
Oh.
What's the good cop? I'm confused. I think I'm
Yeah,
confused.
what would be the good cop?
Liberalism, I guess, political liberalism, social liberalism, social democracy. I mean, I'm a communist, so like political liberalism is on the same, I guess, within the same field, I would say.
Well, I think calling it the bad cop would
Imply that it's good.
yeah, like it would imply that the end goal is the same, and I just don't think that that's true. Like I think that people who are maybe more liberal are wanting to build a place, hopefully, where everyone has the freedom to do the things that they want to do without the judgment or influence of religious standards. And people who are nationalists, Christian nationalists specifically, which is what we're dealing with here, they want all things to be done under the umbrella of what their standards are as Christians. And so I feel like we can't really say it's a good cop, bad cop thing because their goals are completely different.
It's fascism, right? Like religious nationalism, ethno-nationalism, it is just fascism. I call it fascism. I mean,
Yeah.
so for the communists, like fascism is like the worst, I guess, a kind of like terroristic thing of capitalism, and the normal, like neoliberalism, social liberalism, right? Even social democracy, they are like ultimately I guess, the more moderate moderate wing of capitalism, I guess you could say. And to me, like, so here's the thing, right? Like, so communists are also believe in, the Enlightenment principles, right? Like liberty, equality, and solidarity, right? We just believe that liberalism has failed in that because like capitalism, like if you give billionaires, if you give corporations, big banks, and these sorts of entities large amount of power due to their wealth, and like you make a lot of things independent, like, okay, media is independent. There's also like multi-party system. So basically we're talking about like liberal democracies. That system will be eventually gamed by the capitalists to favor themselves rather than the masses. And what capitalists will do is that they will distract the working class towards these sorts of things, right? Like racism, nationalism, ethno-nationalism, religious nationalism, or like hurting minority people, hurting queer people, right? Hurting women, right? Hurting women. So it's like that, I think the cause is just capitalism of this ethno and religious nationalism.
Did you say the cause is? What was the
Sorry,
that
sorry,
last
sorry.
sentence you said?
Yeah, the cause of ethno and religious nationalism, or the cause of fascism, I would say, is capitalism, or at the very least, if I had to qualify what I'm saying, I would say that capitalism significantly amplifies fascism.
Yeah, I would say it kind of it was a good primer for us to then like slowly accept fascism. But I mean there are elements of capitalism that are like very much not fascism, like being able to have like private ownership of things, and now we're in a like a fascist place where there's authoritarian um situations. So like I think where there is sort of like it was like a baby step towards fascism more so than like than something like I don't know, communism or something, but it is, I don't know, they feel so different to me. Like I don't think it's the same scale even necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess one thing I could perhaps um, say is that, so historically, fascism happened because um, you had socialists pushing for, universal healthcare, welfare state, and all that stuff, and the conservatives, and even the classical liberals, the the people who are like, we will have like a limited government, we will not do like welfare state, we will not do like universal healthcare, we will not do like public transport and stuff like that, public housing or anything. And it was the socialists at that time pushing, and they were getting a lot of support, more and more support. So one of the conservatives, like Bismarck, German conservative, he was like a general, a respect, no, probably a king or something. I sorry, I don't remember, but what he did was like, let's take some of the policies that socialists are pushing for, so that they lose votes, or they don't gain power. And eventually, in the well 1930s, late 1930s, even that universal healthcare and all that stuff, it ultimately collapsed due to the Great Depression, and people were angry again. The masses were angry again, and there was, fascism and socialism. The choice was communism and fascism, basically. And the capitalists helped the fascists ultimately, like win, I guess, because communism was the true enemy. And by the way, sorry, I should also mention one small thing. So in communism, you will have like personal property, right? Like you will have your mobile phones, smartphones, or something. Your like your house, right? Your home, personal home, right? Your computer, your laptop, and all that stuff. It's just that the private ownership of the means of production, they are collectivized. They are ultimately collectivized. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have anything to say other than I recognize capitalism definitely plays a huge part in everything that's happening right now, but I think so does things like bigotry and racism and obviously greedy people, which lead back to capitalism. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I really feel about it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I guess wanted to talk about. By the way, like I like the work that you are doing, Skeptical Heretic, right?
Hmm.
That's your channel, right?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I actually watched a few videos on Christian nationalism that you have done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and sorry, Alyssa, I don't know your personal channel.
That is quite all right. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for calling and bringing us this interesting conversation. And you can call back anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your
Bye.
day. Bye. Okay. Felt like we were just agreeing mostly.
I'm like, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to follow tonight if there's long tangents. I'll be so real.
I know. Well, yeah. And he's like a little
Not to
like
say that it was like some kind of terrible like I don't know. If there's a lot to follow, it's gonna be hard for me
yeah.
tonight. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay. So we do have some other calls in here. Hold on. I am so deeply sorry I had to yawn. Okay. Do you have a preference of the ones that we have in here?
No, not at all, because I feel like this is like your expertise is both of them.
Okay, somebody else also call in and talk shit about religion with
Yeah, come on,
Taylor.
guys.
Okay, hello.
I need some of you to come out, show out. Come on.
I know. Okay, let's pull in Sarah because I know she also called in last week. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hey, girl. How's
Sarah.
it going?
I'm feeling the just running on okay and never being 100% anymore.
Ugh, dude, what is this? I'm so
Yep.
tired of it. Ugh.
Yeah, and Alyssa, you saw my comment. I was like, yeah, didn't sleep much last night. So insomnia is real. So
Wait, I need to tell you, Sarah, why I did not sleep very much last night. And it's because in the middle of the night, my fiance will wake up to pee in the middle of the night. I don't. Like, I will most of the time, like, if I have to pee, I'm holding it. I'm not getting up. I'm cold. I'm comfortable. I'm not getting up. He will. And so he got
Yeah.
up and then he took a while to come back. And I was like, what is going on? And he came back and he was like putting on jeans. And I was like,
Oh
what the
my
fuck are you doing? And
What?
and it turns out that Bonnie, dear old Bonnie, my senior Chihuahua Bonnie, shit all over the rug.
Oh my God.
He stepped in it
Um,
as he was going to actually go get water. So he like walked over this way. He stepped in it. So then he'd been cleaning it for like a half hour. And then he was like, I'm just gonna sit and like decompress from that experience. And so he sat here and I see his little iPad was here, so he was definitely like watching something. I don't know, but
that'll teach him. No, I'm just kidding.
Get your ass of it. Yeah, I know. It was so funny. I mean, it wasn't funny. Well, and we have a little camera where I'll like facing where the dogs sleep so I can watch them when we're out of the house. And sometimes at night too, just to make sure like they're all good. So I actually have it on video, like when he walks into the frame
Oh my
and
God.
realizes he stepped in shit and he's like, my
That's
God.
funny.
anyway.
That literally just made my whole entire day. Forget my call. But that
I'm
actually
gonna
made
tell-
my day. So.
I'm gonna tell him that. He's gonna be like, great, I'm so glad.
He's
Oh
like,
my
thanks for
God.
telling everyone on the internet about that. No.
Right, exactly. I just put him on blast all the time. Anyway, what did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, so I've talked a lot about my relationship, and sorry, Taylor, for again having another topic that's Alyssa heavy.
No, you're so
Um,
fine. Never apologize for that.
but yeah, so I I've been in this relationship for like eight months now. And we are very compatible, like romantically, but sexually not so much. Like we have to kind of make accommodations to for both of us to be satisfied. So we've decided to be monogamous but sexually not exclusive, and that's new for me. So I've been struggling with like how to be okay with that. So I could kind of use some advice on like how to not internalize that as like, oh, I suck as a sexual partner, you know?
Well, I think everybody's needs are going to be different, and the priority is that everyone feels safe and comfortable with what's going on. And if being open is not something that is super comfortable for you, you don't have to do it. But I can tell you that um, it is normal to have an adjustment period, I think, when you've opened up a relationship. And I think there's a little bit of like a misconception that if you've opened up the relationship, there isn't any like jealousy or like challenging feelings to work through along the way. And that's just not really the case. Like, I think that's a really huge like overstatement and just not true. So, you certainly are not alone in feeling like you have something that you're navigating that feels like a little weird. What is it? I'm sorry, actually, you did say what it was, that you feel like you're a bad sexual partner, which is not the case. I think that maybe you, as you said, you just are kind of different. And that's okay. And you just are having different needs needed that you want to have fulfilled. But I also am wondering, um, I'm wondering if you guys are trying to um like broaden each other's horizons a little bit as well, like with each other, or
Yeah.
have you just decided to, okay, so you never know, like at some point, maybe you will be interested in sort of similar things, but until that moment comes, take every day, all of it day by day, and stay in really open communication with your partner about how you're feeling. Um, so this was his idea to open up the relationship, or was it yours?
It was his, because his thing, and he knows I'm talking about this. He's watching right now, but
Okay.
he just doesn't want to feel like trapped. And I'll give like a little bit more context. He's just too big, and I'm way too like tight, because I'm not like opening my legs to every guy, you know. Like I'm very inexperienced when it comes to sex. So he didn't want to feel like, oh, well, this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. So that's why he was like, you deserve to have someone with a normal size penis. And like, I don't want to feel trapped. So this is what I want to do. And we did talk about it and kind of like set the boundaries, being like, this is what's acceptable. This is what's not acceptable. So there is communication in regards to like boundaries and stuff.
So I will say that that the vaginal canal is a muscle, so it'll expand and contract like all of your muscles do. So the like tightness that you're experiencing is not going to change if you have multiple partners, but it
Okay.
might be something that you where if you relax your pelvic floor or relax your whole genital area, you should be able to get the muscles to sort of like adjust and stretch, because you have to consider that people have babies that come through that same canal. So we
Yeah.
have we have the capability to and there are babies that come out of the canal, and then after you have the baby, it's not like it's a hallway between your legs for the rest of your life. Like it actually it all comes back together. Um,
Mhm.
so so there is also a possibility where you could um still have great sex with this person, and you just need a little bit of time to acclimate. You also are you using lube?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So that's always really helpful. But I also think I just kind of take it slowly, because it sounds like this is like a pretty fixable issue that you're having with him. If everything is okay with your pelvic floor, if you have a really, really tight pelvic floor, like getting a tampon in, getting a finger in, like that's difficult for you, then I would recommend you go to a pelvic floor therapist, because they can help you loosen up those muscles. But
Okay.
if you are able to do those things, and it really is just this person, and you in every other way feel safe around them, um using a lot of lube, taking your time, really breathing, making sure you're paying attention to your breathing while you're attempting to have sex. Those are things that can help you kind of like loosen up and stay in the moment. I
Okay.
also want you to make sure that you know that if this ends up being a thing where you are not feeling happy, you're not feeling like this is compatible for you, then there will be other people where it will feel more compatible. And there's a lot of times where people will say to me that they're like, well, I didn't want to break up just because of the sex being bad, or because we can't have sex, whatever. Sex is a humongous part of many relationships. Like for people who are in a relationship and are having sex, it's like one of the things that defines the relationship from like you and your friends. It's the
Mhm.
intimacy part. So it's okay to feel like that is something that like really weighs on you in determining if the relationship is a good fit for you. Um, but you also, I mean, there are other options. Lex just said in the chat too. There are other options of ways that you can have sex that have nothing to do with like the penis and vagina part of it too. So, are you guys engaging with any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
But it is a little difficult, but we are trying. Yeah.
Okay. Just take your time, and also if you're feeling very stressed or very like you're anticipating it not working out, your body will continue to stay tense. The best case scenario for
Mhm.
you is to be able to not be so concerned about what the outcome is going to be, and just play around, give it a try, do other things that help you feel intimate and connected to this person, and see if over time this is something that you can work out. But yeah, I just want you to make sure that you know that that if in the event that this relationship starts to feel like it's interfering with your self-worth, or it's making you feel like not so hot anymore because of the this dynamic, that is reason enough to say this might not be a good fit anymore, and that's completely fine also.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you reiterating that. because I think I forget about that sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Sarah, if you don't mind me asking, remind me how old you are.
I'm 28.
Okay. So you'll have lots of time in this life to date people. If this person ends up being your person, amazing. That's great. And you could just work
Mhm.
on this together, and it's not an impossible thing to work through. But also, you know, there are many people with many different interests and capabilities and all these kinds of things. You just never know what the world has in store for you. So don't feel like you have to and honestly, this is advice for your partner too. You don't have to I don't want to say settle for each other because that sounds so like negative and blah, but you don't have to decide on each other if the sexual part of it really interferes with the happiness or security that you feel with each other.
Yeah, true.
Does that help?
Yeah, that does help a lot. I appreciate your advice.
Yeah, of course. There are things called dilators that you can buy. I feel like that you probably can buy them most places online now, but they're basically like little sometimes they're like cone shaped, but they're little pieces of plastic in increasing in size, and it can help you
Mhm.
to um expand the vaginal canal or feel comfortable expanding the vaginal canal. So like as you move up in those sizes, you can do breathing exercises and things of that nature. That's what a lot of the times you do or you can do in pelvic floor therapy. So that might also be helpful to look into pelvic floor therapy if you think that that might be something you want to work on actively, and
Okay.
see if you can get like a dilator system going with the advice and guidance of a pelvic floor therapist.
All right. That sounds good. I will definitely look into those things. And again, I appreciate you. And I know you guys have a hard stop, so I'm not going to stay on too long because I could yap forever. But
Girl,
yeah,
you and
I
me both.
appreciate you.
Thanks, Sarah. We appreciate you calling. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye, Sarah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Guys, I think you guys were all really mature for that conversation.
True. Good job, guys.
Good job, chat. We were all really mature for the amount of times that I said penis. Okay. What do you think about these next two?
I think we should break it up. So
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
patriarchy
agreed.
one or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
Cool.
agreed. All right, let's pull in George, who's calling from Australia.
Hello.
Hello, George. Hi, how's it going?
Good. Not too bad. Lunchtime here. I don't know what time it is for you guys.
It is, well, for me, it's like 4:30 p.m., but it's much later for
Yeah,
Taylor.
for me it's
Uh,
7 p.m.
Okay.
Well, 7:30.
So I'm a big fan of like your guys' channel, but like a rhetorical kind of tool I've seen a lot of like left-leaning or liberal commentators use is like they kind of try to include men's needs. Like they say, you know, oh, the patriarchy's harming you as well, and we try to like kind of give, I don't know, like center men in our rhetoric when, I don't know, to me it's like, do we go like the white slave owners were harmed by the chattel slavery? We don't really consider that, right? That would be ridiculous. So why do we center the perpetrators like as a rhetorical tool? I don't understand it.
My answer would be that it's more complex than just like it either helps them or it harms them. I think it does both. I think it can give.
I agree.
Well,
But
yeah.
I think the harms are negligible compared to the benefit, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I obviously think there are more cons, and I think even the things that like benefit them have repercussions for a lot of other people or whatever. But I think
Well,
that
yeah.
there's just a lot of people born into it as well. And I think that if within the like whole, I don't know, within feminism, if men aren't included in these like conversations, I feel like we would have less of a chance of actually getting rid of that kind of system because they would think, oh, this is just for women. It doesn't matter. This just benefits women. And I think it's good to talk about the parts that could potentially benefit them and ways that maybe they're being hurt now that they don't recognize is hurting them. Obviously,
But
there
but
are some dudes
social
that are,
reform is not. It's not about when we look at like economic reform, right? We don't go, oh, this will help rich people as well, right? Social reform isn't always. It doesn't always exist to universally help the oppressor and the oppressed. It's not really.
so in this situation, I'm confused. What happens to like, who's the oppressor exactly? Like every man or what?
I mean,
Um,
most of the people that uphold the patriarchy, generally, obviously, are men, right? And they benefit from it. Like they get paid more, they get easier access to positions of power, they get free labor in the household, right? Like they get off, with their actions pretty easily, in engagements with law enforcement. So, and like I'm a queer man, so I mean I can't speak for all men that are queer, but I do get like the roles we're forced into as a result. But I feel like the benefits are much more important, and like by centering men's needs in these discussions, it's kind of then it opens up the argument for men to be like, but no, I prefer this thing I'm getting from patriarchy. And that's not really the discussion we're trying to have, right? We're not trying to go band for band in terms of what's better for men. That's not really why we want to dismantle the patriarchy.
Yeah, but I disagree in the way that you're saying that it focuses on men. I don't think it does really. I think like that aspect is talked about it because it's obviously like half of the population. But what is the alternative then? If people aren't trying to change the people within the system and talk about that, what's the alternative?
I mean, like the way we talk about racism, we don't center, oppressors. We don't center like white people, right? Or at least
No, but
people on our side of the pendulum.
education a lot of times can actually help those people. Like I'm not denying that there aren't just like racist, hateful people out there, but there's also people who have been told things their entire lives and haven't been exposed to literally anything else, and then they go away to college and their
Well,
views change. That's why a lot of young people end
I
up being
think
more
I think
progressive.
maybe I said it wrong. I think men need more education, right? And a lot of them believe what they do just because that's what they were told by their fathers or whatever. But I think when we center them in the discussion by kind of being like, this will help you if we implement this, I feel like that's not really a super
Well,
effective tool because the patriarchy is already benefiting them more. You know?
I think part of the reason why we do that though is because ultimately the people who hold the keys in upholding the patriarchy are really more so the men. Like women or other non-binary folks, like all of these other categories of people are also upholding it to some degree, but if the
Less
men
so.
can't get on, yeah, but yes, yeah, but if the men can't get on board, then we're kind of fucked. And the other part of it too is there are parts of the patriarchy that do actively harm men. Like there are plenty of men who feel greatly affected by growing up with this sort of like um boys don't cry and men are
Yeah,
meant to
rigid roles.
lead. Yeah, and needing to be the breadwinner, and if you have a female partner and that person is like the primary earner in your home, that takes a hit to their ego. So it's like it's things like this where where I really see the effects of like the patriarchy harms everyone conversation.
Do we expect so little of men that they need to personally benefit to get behind a cause? You know, because you were
Yes.
talking about it before. It's like men. We need men as part of this movement, right? But
You do
Yeah.
want
you know, like,
you do want them to
when-
give a you do want them to give a shit about it, especially if we're living in a patriarchal system, right?
but like when you know, I mean, when we talk about racism, we don't center white people in the discussion, right? When we talk about like capitalism, we don't worry about how it can benefit the rich to tear down their structures. But Marx talks about how the bourgeoisie are alienated as a result of capitalism, but that's never the focus. That's just kind of a point that's thrown out there. So it, like, in this instance, I see it the same way. Like, I think I as a queer man, I have experienced like some problems. Like, I was never the way I was never accepted as a man. But I think the benefits that men get from patriarchy are far more important. So if we just kind of, like, put the carrot on a stick in front of men, patriarchy's got a bigger carrot. Like, there's more incentive to stick with that system. So I don't think that's an effective tool anyway.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I don't know. I think another factor in all of it is, I mean, we abolished slavery in the US, but we still have people who are supremely racist here. So it didn't
we're
really,
still getting there.
but yeah,
But
but
we got white people to give a shit about it. And
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But we abolished the action, but the ideology still runs rampant in the US. And we've seen it more in like the past couple of
Yeah.
years than we have in a long time. So I think that part of it is also I want men to be incentivized to understand where patriarchy is not very beneficial for them, because then in the process of hopefully taking down the system, we also have the ideology that is also being dismantled as well. Because I think it's sort of like I don't really want to like beat men into submission to get rid of the patriarchy, I want them to be on board. I want truly, like, the purpose of feminism is for everyone to experience everything as equally as possible. And so if we are going about that in a way where we're like not really allowing for the parts of patriarchy that do genuinely affect men and their well-being and their upbringing, then it kind of feels like we're invalidating that experience and disregarding it when we could just not.
I
And
do think they're
kind.
points worth bringing up, but I guess I just like men that are already in positions of power as a result of the systems. Like what incentive are we giving them? It's just a weak rhetoric tool in my eyes for that reason, right?
Wait, what? You're saying you don't know what the benefits are?
No, so a lot of men have experienced a lot of benefits as a result of patriarchy, right? You would agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of presenting this like we want men to be able to better understand some of the benefits of dismantling patriarchy, but they've benefited more than like dismantling patriarchy could benefit them already.
Doesn't that just depend on what you Doesn't that just depend on what you value? I mean, you're talking as if like all men want the same exact things and all men like care about the same things. I would argue that it depends on what you care about, because there are plenty of men who, I guess, benefited from the patriarchy and whatever, and then they ended up like offing themselves because all of the pressure that they had from that
Yeah.
system got to them. So I think it depends on what you value ultimately.
Okay.
Because also a lot of these things that men get that are beneficial from the patriarchy, in my opinion, are superficial a lot of times. It's just like kind of like, I don't know, have a family and you have to do this and you need to do that, and like I don't know. To me it seems very superficial. I don't think it actually, that kind of system doesn't actually care about men's feelings or mental health or any of that. And I'm sure there are plenty of men who are tired of living in that kind of environment.
Look, I agree, but there's like, we live in a world where, men can go to court, and if they have enough money, right, they can get out of basically anything short of murder, if they can get a good enough lawyer. So it's like there's like material benefits for their lives. I think that outweigh, kind of the emotional aspects, which are very real. But I don't know, like they get more preferential treatment from law enforcement, which is pretty huge. I mean, in my country, I know, at least. I'm not sure what it's like over there, but the cops here are very, like, statistically, they're very favorable to men. Like, they let men off very easily.
So again, what's like what is your alternative?
I mean, I just think, like, you were talking about education. I agree with education. Like, what kind of, like, it's about humanizing women, obviously, like,
Yeah, so learning about
shining a light on
feminism.
their struggles. But yeah,
Right?
but like,
Because that if
not
they're
necessarily
educated, they're going to
centering
learn
men
about
in the argument.
feminism. If
Yeah, I
they're
agree.
okay, so I don't understand why you're saying they can get or they should get education, but then you're saying that, explaining things about feminism and how the like issues within the patriarchy doesn't help anything. I'm confused.
I just think we shouldn't center men. If that, just like, that's the core of it.
I don't think that we're really centering men, but I think that it is it's still it's true, and so why not have that be a part of the conversation? Like I feel like when we talk about like taking down the patriarchy, most of the time the first thing that comes to my mind is the people who aren't men and how they would benefit from that. And I think it's sort of like a
Yeah.
secondary thing to consider, not secondary, but it is also something to consider that men would also benefit from the patriarchy, not they would benefit in some way, and if the patriarchy were not to hold. So I think it's important because it also incentivizes people to work towards a more equitable world. Why not get them on board? Why do it in a way where they have no understanding of how this will also benefit them?
Right, like what do we lose? I don't think that we lose anything. And you keep saying that like feminism centers men. I've never witnessed that. I've never witnessed feminism
Not as a
centering
whole.
men.
I've just seen a lot of like people on our side of the pendulum that, like, as soon as like the discussion gets a bit heated, they immediately bring up how it'll benefit men to take the patriarchy down, or what. Like, it seems like a
That's just
prominent
trying
tool,
that's
and
just
I
trying to
think,
relate to them. That's just trying to relate to them, which is what people do. And I feel like a lot of times people aren't realistic when it comes to progress. And part of progress is like convincing people of things and getting them to see different people's perspectives. And that happens over long periods of time and with a lot of effort. And this is one of those things. And if we go by what you're saying of like these people can't really like we might as well not tell them that this is a good system. I just don't see the benefit at all. I only see negatives to that.
Yeah, I think I'm just like in a bubble where the people I've surrounded myself with at this point don't like are able to have like that broader view. They don't really need to be given an incentive to work towards a more equitable future. But I think I understand a bit more now. Thank you.
I hope that we get to a place where people are motivated just by the thought of like, let's have equality, but they just freaking are not. And so if it helps us reach the goal, then I am happy to also lean on something that's true, which is that it would help everyone. It's kind of like a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's just something that's hard for me to swallow sometimes because the men in positions of power that have been in my life historically are, I don't know, I just don't see that working on them, like the people that benefit most from the system. I think that's what made me call, like that's what stuck in my mind.
I agree. I think there's plenty of men it doesn't work on. But I don't
Yeah.
look at things in like absolute, so I think there are a lot of men that it would work and help.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Thanks, George.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. That was interesting.
Yep. I hate when people make me stick up for a man. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Yeah,
How dare you, George? We had to defend the men today on Chewed Gum.
No, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes people get into, even whether they're atheists or not, just fundamental ways of thinking. And then also when I feel like typically when I ask people, what do you want us to do then? There's like really no concept there. So
Yeah. And I also if we're looking for equity, we're looking for fairness, I would rather it come through in a way where like everyone's on the same page.
right.
Like that just seems to make so much more sense
Right.
to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, I can't figure out how much time we have. We have another like 30 minutes ish
Yeah.
of calls, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, an hour fully, like 45 minutes really of calls. Okay, cool. So we have two other calls. Okay. Sorry, I was getting distracted by the Discord and the chat. Do you have a preference of which we take next?
Maybe we should just take the person who's been waiting a while and then take the last person if we have time. Yeah, for both. I'm guessing we do.
Yeah, I think we will. Okay, we are gonna bring in Pip, who I haven't gotten to speak to in a little while. Hi, Pip.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. How's it going?
It's going pretty well considered. A little stressed, but that's just kind of life at the moment. All things considered, I'm on the up and up. And your advice to Sarah was definitely better than mine, because I suggested she'd be better off swallowing a black hole and then completely embodying the ripping the fabric of space-time and therefore enlarging herself like that. So I take no responsibility for any other cosmic damage that it might create.
Oh my God. Okay, you are absolved. Thank you, Pip.
No problem. Anyway, my topic for today was about sex positivity and asexuality, because I feel that to a certain extent that it doesn't really come up nearly as much as it would do when we are discussing topics of sex positivity, because I know that to an extent that's kind of ironic, considering that asexuality is a lack of sexual attraction, but at the same time, it can also fall. It's also a very, very big spectrum. there are people like myself who are asexual, I believe it's pronounced, who find that sex and sexual activity is an appealing fantasy, but I have absolutely no desire, to do it with another person. And there are people who are generally sex favorable, who might just enjoy it as a thing that makes their partner happy, but don't really feel sexual attraction. And I know that Dr. Ben TACIS stated that he's on the A spectrum. I don't know about anyone else, that I don't want to really try, but I just feel that this is just some part of the conversation that needs to be brought up, considering that while a lot of purity culture does revolve around not having sex and abstaining, it also seems to shame like asexual people who just aren't that interested. And there's always the whole contradiction between, women who are having too much sex, also not enough, because then that makes them a prude or a fridge or whatever language, whatever slang you want to portray it as. And it's just this no-win situation.
You're muted, Alyssa.
Oh, thanks. I'm sure that's a bingo square, so you all can mark that off. Anyway, I think you're right that asexuality is not so much discussed in sex positivity, especially when it comes to the spectrum, like the umbrella of things that exist under asexuality. Like you spoke a little bit about it before, but we have a lot of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a lot's not the right word, but we have a fair amount of people who are demisexual in this chat, who call in. Like that, I have had more experiences with folks that are demisexual through the line than I have like in many other spaces. So we have a really diverse group here, which is awesome. I agree with you that it's really not very represented, and I think for the people that are in this whole purity culture world, they want you to abstain from having sex, but then once you are married to someone who is, of course, of the opposite sex, then your job is to have babies and to procreate. So if you are asexual, or you're just like not interested in having kids or whatever it is, then you are out of the running. And so that also is a part of that whole system as well. And okay, if you'll let me nerd out for a second, I just learned something. Literally last night I was reading, and I learned that there's this guy, Thomas Aquinas, I think is how you say his last name, and he was a friar, a Catholic priest, and he would write a lot of philosophy in the 13th century. And he is the person who created a lot of the foundations around Catholic doctrine in the westernized world. So we can like hold him responsible for a lot of crap, actually. And part of the things that we can hold him responsible for is he looked to Aristotle to determine his thought on sexuality. So he had read Aristotle explain that things that are good are things that fulfill their purpose. And if there is no purpose to fulfill, it is bad. Or if they don't fulfill that purpose, it's bad. So based on that logic, this man decided sex without procreation, which in his opinion was the purpose of sex, is bad morally, and sex for procreation is good and like lends itself to it being like good for human nature. So anyway, I thought that was interesting, and it just honestly proves how much everything is made up. Like everything is just made up. Like one guy decided that this was the case, and now we all have to friggin' live with it.
I also feel like probably being asexual and Christian like culture is probably even worse because
Yeah.
I feel like they would genuinely say like something's wrong with you because, you know, of like what you just said. Like they always have this narrative of I forget exactly how they say it, but basically having a bunch of babies so that way there's more Christians or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what they tell a lot of people their purpose is just to reproduce. So I feel like that has to be even worse in those situations.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. From my personal, sorry, not from my personal experience, when going through high school, as someone who was perpetually in the spotlight because I was the weird kid. I was the person who was slower to mature emotionally. I had very little to no interest in sex or relationships, partly because I didn't expect anyone to be genuine and actually, you know, legitimately, you know, have any romantic interest in me because, you know, pariah. But also a lot of what I experienced was people bugging me about about specific terms, be it slang or, you know, literal terms about, you know, the sexuality. And of course, gay was the word that was, you know, beaten over my head repeatedly, you know, as an insult, because the worst thing you could be was to be attracted to, you know, another man because I'm assigned male at birth. And I could literally express absolutely nothing. They would still twist something to portray that. And I feel that to an extent, the more we talk about asexuality, especially in relation to sex positivity, we can also address how social pressures often push people towards, you know, sex and sexual activity in their teenage years, regardless of interest and knowledge. And that is part of comprehensive sex education. And I know I'm rambling, but one thing I want to highlight is that one thing I took away from religious education class was a video about Christians saving themselves for marriage and saying that we didn't have to agree or consent to be worthy. If we could say no, that was an option. And that was something I wasn't getting from anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think the journey that you are having with this is one that people have experienced many a time. But it is actually interesting because I'm thinking about the original like prompt that you called in with, that even in sex positivity spaces, asexuality is not really like a main function in what people are talking about. I guess part of it is also because I guess when we're talking about sex positivity, the majority of the time that we're talking about it, it we're trying to make sure that we have a safe space for people to explore their sexuality, like regardless of what it is. And so many people have so much shame around the amount of partners, the stuff that they're interested in. And so that's where like so much of the sex positivity, you know, it kind of even reminds me of like the way that people are about body positivity, where everyone is body positive until it's a person who's skinny. And then all of a sudden, like the body positivity movement gets a little bit hairy and it's like not really spoken about so much. It feels kind of similar. I think people just take for granted this thing that feels like a non-problem to them. Um, but it's something worth discussing. It's just helpful to have support. It's helpful to have also just an explanation. Like, I'm sure you've had this experience where trying to navigate how you felt about your sexuality and the feelings that you had sexually, or lack of feelings, really, that is, without having a name for what that is, it's so much harder to accept that as being like totally normal and completely fine. And never mind that there are many other people who are just like you.
Yeah, exactly. I only really kind of accepted my asexuality after the breakup with my last, and currently there's been none others, my last romantic relationship, because she was kind of like a hypersexual person. And to all the Warhammer fans in the chat, she describes herself as a spawn of Slanesh. That should give you kind of an idea of the amount of fetishes he has rather. But I was just losing interest in sex, and she feels like she needs to be desired sexually. And we're still very close friends, if not best friends, to today, even though we are no longer romantically involved. And this is something you pointed out with Sarah, is that sex is a big part of relationships. It's not wrong to split with someone because they don't fulfill the needs sexually, and me just not really having any interest in seeking it out with another person, beyond the general fantasy of the whole thing, it really helps me feel a lot more comfortable and understand myself better with a lot of the internalized sense of shame around sex and sexuality that was kind of, if you'll pardon the elaborate metaphor, pounded out of me.
That's really funny. So when you were exploring this for yourself, what helped you kind of determine where you were at on the spectrum?
I think initially I called myself asexual because I found that when I was right at the start of a new relationship, my libido was like off the charts, and I'd really want to do it with a partner. But as time goes on and things start to settle down, I'm much more interested in the romantic aspect of it. And I, still find, as much as it's very difficult for me to acknowledge, I still find myself enjoying adult videos and comics and the like, but I've just never had a desire to, enact on it with a physical person. And so this is why I'm a big fan of labels when they are descriptive, because it gave me a word to describe how I kind of function with the libido, but also allowed me to explore asexual communities, to find people with similar experiences to me. So I think the online communities, and also allowing myself to admit to myself that I don't have to force myself into sexual relationships, was kind of like a big relief. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. And having the freedom to just sort of be like, and if this is not for me, it doesn't have to be for me. And that's that. I mean, even like when now people talk about LGBTQIA, it's kind of like sometimes you get the IA and sometimes it's just like LGBTQ plus. And so it's just, I guess, not so emphasized. But I wish that it were. And I think, finding community in it gives you so much freedom to be able to make choices that actually feel authentic to you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
thank you very much for the chat. Before I go, can I make a quick book recommendation?
Yes, I would love that.
Right. I put the damn thing down somewhere, and I'm terrible with names, so you're just going to have to give me one brief second while I look up the name of the author. It's one that I read in like 4 days, and my internet's being a pain. Here we go. It's Hear Her Howl by Kim DeRose. It's about a teenage girl who is sent to an all-girls Catholic school after her mother catches her kissing another girl. And first she's miserable, but then she finds out one of the rebellious Catholics who's constantly challenging the patriarchy, and gets not only that, but gets away with it due to her rich connections, and also finds out that she's a werewolf. And it goes from there. It is exactly the kind of thing I have in mind for this show. It's both challenging religious patriarchy, purity culture, and also literally unleashing the wild side to, be your authentic self, apart from the imposed religious shame.
Okay, love it. And I will raise you another book suggestion because, and I don't know if I feel like I probably didn't suggest it in Chewed Gum yet because it's YA and I wasn't sure if people wanted to read YA, but there's a book called Gay the Prey Away, and it's by Natalie Naudus. And it's based on the author's real experience, but it is a girl who is part of what I think is an evangelical church, actually, and is realizing that it's like a cult. And she finds a book similar to what you were describing. Like she goes to the library, she finds a book that is like a sapphic romance, and then she starts to realize like, oh, I think I'm gay or bi or something is happening. So she gets the book, she like hides it in her room, and now it's like her journey to escape the environment that she's in while also having a little flirtation with a girl who just got to her church. And it's really good. It's like a quick read, and yeah. So if anyone's interested, Jesus, Gay the Prey Away by Natalie Naudus. Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I read it last year and it was really good. So write that down, Pip. Oh, we don't have Pip on the line anymore.
Oh.
Their internet dropped, I guess.
I was wondering if something happened.
I was like, hello, Pip? Okay, well, I hope that they got the suggestion anyway, because it is a very good book, and I think that they would like it. Okay, we have really... Oh, there's another call in the queue. That's interesting. Okay, we have a call that I feel like might be fast because I think that we agree. So I'm gonna pull in Zachary, who is. Hello. Hi there. How's it going?
I'm all right. How about you?
All right. All right.
Good.
What did you want to talk about today?
Really, well, I'm not really trying to like discredit anybody's like lived-in experiences. Like, I'm just like trying to talk about like my experience as like a Black man, and, like having like sisters, and like sisters who are Black, and all that. And I was like, and like I really just like been reading some stuff, like and like listening to videos like by like Black creators, like who are like women, and I'm just like sometimes I feel like like as I try like to be like like be a better like man and stuff like that, like genuinely like doing the work, and, like sometimes I feel like feminism and like Blackness don't really like work together sometimes. It's like if like nowadays like we see like kind of like white supremacy is like on the rise with like within the right, and you see like a lot of women like Erica Kirk and like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's kind of done that in the past, like like doing like patriarchal like bargaining to like use their whiteness to keep like the system in power instead of like voting within like their best interests. And like even when you look at like the voting, like a lot of white women like voted for Trump. So it's like kind of like seeing these notions. Like sometimes I feel like I see like it feels like feminism is like sometimes like very whitewashed, and it's like, but y'all are like voting against your best interests. So like sometimes that doesn't really like make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that we probably agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. I'll speak for myself. I think
Same.
yeah, there's a part of feminism too called intersectional feminism, or like there are people who will add other sort of qualifiers to the feminism that they believe in, because traditionally feminism is sort of like whitewashed, and the experiences of women of color are sometimes like just not centered, and that shouldn't be the case. And like you said, the way that white women showed up to the polls and just voted their hearts out for Donald Trump is fucking
Yeah.
bananas. Like truly.
Yeah, I feel like any type of feminism that doesn't focus on things like multiple factors with women, like intersectionality, like Alyssa said, I think it just kind of sucks, because I think there are a lot of white women that can probably talk about it all day, but they don't understand that they're only talking about themselves and people who look like them, because there's a lot of other stuff involved than just the like like which sex are you part. So yeah, I agree. It can be very whitewashed, 100%.
Yeah, and I was like, and like just like I watched the video recently, like the creator's name was like Reese Ireland, and she made like this whole video, and it was like not only about like how it like just affects like people of color in general, because like you look at like the Tulsa massacre, like Emmett Till, like the Central Park Five, is like how like white women have like not really been held accountable for like the harm they've done to like people of color throughout like the generations, like throughout like the centuries, and how like they just like kind of like use their like proximity to whiteness to like enact their violence. And like I
Yeah,
thought that was like very
100%.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
thought that was like
they're being propped up by the white men. So yeah, I totally understand what you mean, because they're always gonna, you know, if so, a lot of times they're gonna put value on that, which they shouldn't. And I totally agree that that's how it's been for a very long time. And I think it's easy for people to forget that, and easy for people to just skip over, because some people feel, I think some people don't even, I think some feminist white women don't even know they're doing it, or they don't care. I don't really know, but I feel like it does need to be talked about way more than it is. It's still a big issue, I think.
yeah, and like I said, like this isn't about like saying that like women's rights don't matter, but it's like I see like a lot of like anti-blackness like on the internet, and it's like very confusing to like what like where are the allies, and like how are we supposed to like come together like in community together, when it's like I feel like some people
Right.
are saying one thing and other people are saying other things. So it's like very confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. And I like this conversation is important to have. I saw the like prompt come up and I was like, "Oh, well, we agree." But it's important to have these conversations out loud, because this community is pretty with it, so I don't think this will be a new conversation for the people here necessarily, but you never know who stumbles upon this video and on this conversation, who might not have considered before the parts of the feminism that they experience, or that they that they believe in, that are actually not so inclusive, and that are actually kind of exclusive, and they are not realizing the bias or the racism that they're applying to the feminism that they're trying to preach. Like you said, like the white women held up so much of the system for so long. I actually, do you know something so crazy? I heard recently, and I didn't fact check this, so take it with a grain of salt because I did see it on TikTok. But I heard these women talking about how in the like mid-century, when things like instant mashed potatoes or like like the mac and cheese, like Kraft mac and cheese in a box, like those type of canned goods, like that type of stuff started to become popular, it's because white women didn't know how to take care of the kids. They didn't know how to cook because they didn't
Yeah,
actually
like
they didn't have to learn. And then they made
yeah,
everything. Isn't that crazy? I just never
yeah,
thought
like
about it, but
I mean, like
continue.
that might be true because like I had a great aunt and she like recently like passed away like last year, and I was at her funeral and there was like this white family, and I asked my mom after the funeral like, who were they? And she was like, well, they were the family that she used to take care of, like, and those were like,
Wow.
yeah, like that was the family like she used to take care of, like, and I was like, wow. It's like, yeah, it's like, and it just makes you realize like this stuff was like pretty recent. I mean, like she grew like she was like in her 90s, but like sometimes it's like you kind of forget like how like still like recent like some of this stuff was.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And that's why it's important to keep having these conversations because it was not that long ago. And we're also living in a time where we're seeing how easily some people backslide. Like again, having the Trump presidency at all. And then
Mhm.
even I will never forget, I mean, I'm sure no one will as long as we live, that we had the KKK marching. Like it was it in
Literally, yeah.
Virginia? Virginia maybe?
Literally
Yeah, like,
everywhere it feels.
Yeah. And so
I
it's like as
mean,
much as people want to make it like a historical thing that people don't really, it seems so far gone.
No.
And I also think that there's a reason why anytime we see pictures of like any people who were slaves, any of like the abuse, that kind of stuff, it's always in black and white. And but then when I think about other pictures of like white folks from that period of time, you can see some of them in some sort of color, even if it was like recolored. It's the same thing with like for Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. When you put that speech in color, which I've seen people do, um, it reminds you how recent all of it was. Like this was not that long ago, and we can't treat it
Yeah, and they do
like
treat it like it's so long ago. That
yeah,
shit irritates me so bad where people are like, "Oh, that type of slavery's done, so racism is gone." I'm like,
yeah.
it's so irritating to hear people think like
It's
that.
so crazy. It's so crazy.
like yeah, that's like yeah, but like that's like about the KKK. I remember when I was younger, and we talked about taking the state flag, the Confederate flag down. 'Cause I lived in South
Hmm.
Carolina. It was like it was in the like uh, it's like the building, the Capitol building. The KKK was trying to march like down there when they were talking about taking that down. So I was like, and I was like 14 maybe at the time when that was going on, like 14, 13,
Yeah.
like at that time. So yeah.
So crazy. So crazy. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. We're going to try to get to one more call before we wrap the show. But we appreciate your time and wanting to bring this conversation to the show today.
All right, thank you.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
calling,
night,
Zachary.
Zachary.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
I like a call like that.
Me
Hell
too.
yeah.
It was chill.
That was chill. And also, it's nice to just have conversations like that. Like that, I feel like, it's just
Maybe
nice
don't.
to like
Yeah.
say out loud. Like,
Yeah. I
you know,
remember specifically learning about intersectionality because I took a lot of sociology classes. That was one of my majors. And I think that especially if you're from a place that is like a small conservative white town, it like doesn't click to a lot of people what's
Mm.
happening because the way that my teacher explained it that I'll always remember is like she's like, "Oh, if a company doesn't want to seem bigoted, they will hire a white woman and then a black man to make it like
Mm.
seem like, you know what I mean? And then the black woman is left because of having two of the factors. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
explaining this well.
No, I understand what you're saying. I do.
Yeah.
Well, even when you look at like the wage gaps that people experience, I
Yeah.
believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's Latina women who are like at the very, very bottom of the wage gap, with like obviously white men at the top. Um, but like
Yeah.
the race plays a huge factor in that as well. And so like, you know, it's not crazy to think that it also
Yeah.
is apparent in other situations too.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
anyways, okay, so we have one more call and then we're gonna get to super chats. So, um, what's it called? Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. I've been getting distracted by the chat more today than I have in so long. I don't know what is happening. Anyways, we have one more call and then we're gonna send you guys off to Jimmy, who will be watching the State of the Union, and make sure you get your super chats in so that we can read them at the end of the show. Thank you so much. And keep looking back here, guys. It's because Bonnie is very active right now, and I am just, you know,
She got the
it's
zoomies?
well, so she did have the shits last night. So I'm just trying to, I'm just like head on swivel, you
Hopefully
know,
it's
just
not the shits and the zoomies.
okay. Actually, she's sitting on the couch now. We're okay. Okay. I was worried. She was like dancing around, and I was like, she's gonna shit. She's gonna shit right on the floor. Anyway, okay. We're safe for now. We're safe for now. All right. Sorry for prefacing this call with something like that. But Eric, we're gonna call you in. We're gonna bring you in. Hi,
Talking-
Eric. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say talking about dog shit.
Hello.
Hi there. Sorry, we were having a ridiculous
Can you guys
conversation
hear me?
right before we took your call. Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was watching actually some videos on Alyssa's channel, and then I realized you guys were live, and I was like, oh, I'll just call in.
Cool.
So I haven't heard most of what you guys have been talking about today, but I was just curious. So like I agree with you guys on most stuff, but my social circle has become just like it's like MAGA central.
Mm.
And like my male friends are super Trump supporters. They're super like the Andrew Tate toxic masculinity stuff is all there. And I was listening to a video on Alyssa's channel from I think it was like Andrew from New Jersey or something. I don't know. I've heard his voice a few times, but he says like the same stuff that my friends talk about, and it's really hard for me to counter some of it because I'm bad at picking partners, and so like I've experienced a lot of really shitty stuff in like the gender dating space stuff, right? And so I'm just kind of curious, like what you guys would recommend for like how to try to combat some of that, and then also like how to navigate the dating space as a dude who, you know, believes in things like equality and stuff, but also is tired of getting taken advantage of, right? And so like I don't want to keep paying for everything in a relationship. Like I legitimately want a partner, not a dependent. And yet, even when I'm dating girls who are very, very liberal, they want me to foot the bill for fucking everything, right? And so like I don't really understand how to navigate the thing. And then when I hear guys talking about how women are just trying to take advantage of men and stuff, it's like, well, that's kind of been my experience, so I don't really know how to combat those arguments. Does any of that make sense? Is that a
Yeah, it totally does. It
question?
totally does. And also it's so funny when that same community is saying that girls want to take advantage, but then they also want women who are going to stay home and like be trad wives. I'm like, okay, well, like then that's the
Right.
do you want to pay for their dinners or do you not? And it's so
Right.
confusing.
That's when that would happen. I feel like that's when it would happen.
Yeah.
Is if they're like
Yeah.
a trad wife.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
Eric, for your purposes though, I think the best thing that you can do, and this is advice that I give to like a lot of people in coaching, and honestly just good advice on the internet in general, is to lead with curiosity and not judgment, and see if you can you know, get to the bottom of some of the way that your friends actually feel, because I feel like slash no, the reason why Andrew Tate really thrives is because he's able to tap into the emotions of people who are feeling really disenfranchised, who are feeling like things are not so in their control
Yeah.
anymore. And like we're not in a place where even like my mom's generation, the expectation was you would find a partner, you would get married, you would have kids, and you would do that like in your early 20s, you know? And now we're
Right.
encouraging people to get women to get jobs and go to college and be educated and whatever. It's a whole new world. And so really, I think when it comes to something like etiquette wise about not wanting to have to pay for every date, I would say your options are either do something that is not so expensive, like go for coffee, like that kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
I was literally gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, so like you're maxing
Yeah,
out at
like-
like $10, you know?
Yeah, what I usually do is usually like the first date is like either coffee or like a brewery for like a drink or two.
Mhm.
And then to try to set the expectation, I tell them that if there's going to be a date too, I expect them to plan it and pay for it and stuff. Like I'm looking for a partner, so I'll do everything for the first date. For the second date, it's on you,
Mhm.
kind of thing. And that runs into a surprising amount of backlash, I find. But you know, that's okay. Regarding the curiosity and getting down to like what's driving my friends and their like very misogynistic views, right? Like some of the stuff I'm surprised that their wives are still with them. Like honestly, some of the shit they say or stuff that they say, sorry.
Mhm.
But what I find so frustrating is that I don't know, man. I don't know. Like they don't have answers that don't come from pick your right wing pundit of choice, right? Whether it's Andrew Tate or Joe Rogan or Ben Shapiro, like they're just talking points. And when I try to interrogate that a little bit, when I try to actually get down to it, it eventually runs into, well, that's just how I feel, and like no amount of data will change the way that
Right.
they feel about something, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, it
like
definitely
talking to a brick wall.
it definitely is coming from a place of emotion, in my opinion. Like most of
Yeah.
them are deeply hurt people for one reason or another. Because I remember seeing a video of Myron Gaines. Like, I don't know if you saw that video, Alyssa. I feel like it wasn't very like viral or anything, but he was like sobbing about when he used to play video games all day, women didn't like him, and like he was so angry talking about it. So it made me think that this entire thing he does is from bitterness or something because he felt slighted by women.
Mhm.
Very
Right.
transparent to me.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it's like I Eric, I don't know if you watched, I made a video a little while ago on my YouTube, and it's called like Let's Talk About Men or something. And in that video I talk about like how I really do feel for young men trying to navigate this situation, because you have like two sides of the fence. You have the Andrew Tates of the world who are basically like, you can do whatever you want. You're a man. People should be submissive to you, or women should be submissive to you.
Right.
And then you have the other side where a lot of the time it feels like men are being held responsible for everything. It's like, fuck the men. We don't need them, that kind of stuff. And I think both sides of that spectrum are not helpful. And the truth is somewhere in between, which is, of course, there are things that men need to be held responsible for. And ultimately, like the system that created all of this is one that men created and upheld for, so long. So it is
Right.
hard
Right.
it's hard for women, I think, to extend the olive branch when we're in a place where like the threat that we like when we talk about the biggest fears that we have when it comes to dating, or like honestly the biggest fears that we have like in life, it's like being stalked and killed. And for a lot of for men, it's not necessarily that. It's like being humiliated, it's being embarrassed, it's not showing up the way that they want to in the world. So it's hard
Yeah.
to then like
Yeah. I have
extend
a
an olive branch
Oh,
there.
sorry. I didn't
But
mean to
we
cut you off.
have to. No, it's okay. There's a delay. But we have to because of situations like you're describing with your friends where you're like, I don't really have that much to say because that is my lived experience also.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I have a female friend, and her and I sort of swap dating horror stories.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I joke about is like she's turned into like a little private investigator, like figuring out who these people are before she's going on dates with them, because she's
Yeah.
got to be worried about being murdered, and I'm worried about being
Yeah.
taken advantage of. And like those are both valid
Right.
concerns, but the severity is like wildly different, right? Like I just don't want to waste a bunch of money on somebody, right? She's like concerned about if she's going to get to see her family again. So they're
Right,
very
exactly.
different.
Yeah, and so that could be something that you bring up if it feels like it fits into the conversation that you're having with your friends. And it's also interesting because you are talking about an example where you have a friend who sounds like it's a girl, and she is also trading horror stories. And so honestly, I hear horror stories on both sides of the fence. I think that we've gotten really defensive in the dating space, and are really bad at talking to each other and really bad at listening to each other. And we're just like not in a good space holistically. When it comes to your friends, um, and even like splitting the bill for things, I think that is the world is changing enough where maybe some people are turned off by that. But there are going to be plenty of women who are going to be fine with that, especially if you're explaining like, I want us to feel like we're in an equal partnership, and I feel like the best way to do that is to just have like, our cost be equal so that we can enjoy the things that we want to, etc. And
Yeah.
if you're being honest and good natured in what you're explaining, a person who is right for you will understand.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I sort of, as I've gotten older, I sort of look at it more that way in dating, right? It used to be when I was younger that I was trying to like impress this person or something, and now
Mhm.
it's like, well, no, this is just who I am, and I'm looking for the person that's compatible with that, right? And so
Yeah.
if they don't like the fact that I'm specifically like, hey, I'm not looking to just support somebody again, yeah, like that's if the trash takes itself out, right? That's that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, totally. And it's also sometimes I think about how crazy it is to find a person that you want to date for a long time or marry even. Like there are so many people in this world, and one of them is going to be someone that you meet and you go, oh, I actually don't think I want to date anymore. I think that's the one person that I want to date forever. For some people, obviously not everybody wants to have that experience or does have that experience, but so many people
right,
do have
right.
that experience. It really is just like process of elimination. Like even now, when I look back on my dating experience, it was, oh my, like it was worse than I thought it was. Now that I feel like I've understood like who I am as a partner, the kind of partner that I'm looking for, um, it just dating just sucks all around. So I know that like within your
Right.
friend group, they're talking about how like their dating experience is not great, and you're like, well, I can't disagree. I promise you, there will be girls that could go toe to toe with you guys all day long. It's a bad dating environment now in general.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Some of my most fun first dates, even though they didn't go anywhere, right, were, me and some random person just swapping, what shitty things have happened over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
It's been some fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Um,
I would just I would lean into just the conversation with your friends saying like I've heard some crazy stories on the girls' end too, but really when it comes to people like Andrew Tate, this is a man who he's being accused of
Trafficking.
sex trafficking, yeah, of sexual
mhm.
assault. There are videos that are still available on TikTok and YouTube where he talks about beating
How to do
women.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
traffic, beating women. Mind you, this is also a man who does not have a partner. So he's not even successful. He has all
Right.
this to say and he's not even successful in the dating world. Um
I
actually
mean, I don't
he
know.
is
He did get Jordan Peterson's daughter to cheat on her husband. So
Wait, is that, are
I
you
I
dead
just think
didn't know
it's
ass?
that.
hilarious.
Is that
Shut
real?
up.
She
Is
was
that
going through a
real?
divorce, and she left her family to go travel in Romania with Andrew Tate. It was pretty ridiculous.
No. Oh my God.
So
That's
someone in the
crazy.
chat fact check this, because if that's true,
That's crazy.
if
Crazy,
that's true,
crazy.
that's so funny.
That is so nuts.
Yeah. So
Wow.
regarding like the toxic masculinity stuff, you're basically saying like continue to sort of lean into the Socratic, like ask them lots of questions, try to get them to actually
Yeah.
explain their position as opposed to just repeating the talking points is kind of
Yeah,
what
I
it boils
would.
down to.
Yeah, like dig into it with them because it's more likely coming from a place of feeling hurt and feeling like they don't have control over the situation. But someone like Andrew Tate is just not the place to find answers. Like he's also saw this
Right.
morning he's being accused of choking
Yeah.
two women. One of the
He
women, by
assaults
the
them.
way, yeah, he had like one of the women has broken capillaries in her eyes because of the asphyxiation. Like,
Oh
why
my
is
God.
that the person that we want to look up to? I agree there aren't like a ton of great positive male role models, but fucking hell, he's not one of the good ones.
Right. Yeah. It's really wild, right? And like you know what Andrew Tate's accused of and stuff, right? The stuff that we're learning in the Epstein files about most of the powerful men in our society. Like I've written off a lot of friends, but my social circle is rapidly dwindling, and like there's this I don't know tension between like when someone tells you who they are, like I support people who beat women and who rape children. Well, that's not really somebody that I want in my life, but also I need
Right.
to have friends. So like when I've already shrunk my social circle by 50% over the last few years, and like these are the people that are left, like what do you do, right? Like
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know, it's
really
just
hard
weird.
question.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
That's tough, and you're super duper not alone in that either. And like I know a lot of people have that problem as
Yeah.
well. And sometimes it's just like your environment, and at some point maybe you won't live in the place that you live now and be able to branch out and find other people. Or if you can, find other people in your neighborhood that are less I don't know,
Bigoted?
in red-pilled.
Sexist?
Yeah, red-pilled, I guess. I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Those people do
Yeah,
exist. They're somewhere.
Yeah, it's recently what I'm starting to lean into is just I'm trying to lean back into the veteran community, and I don't really have much of a relationship with most of the guys I served with anymore, but just hanging out at the VA and talking to the old guys and stuff. As long as we stay out
Yeah.
of politics, like it's all right, just listening to their war stories and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
weird going from like the dudes that are my age, 30s, 40s, stuff like that, to go hang out with the 60-year-olds
Yeah.
because their politics are more palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I know. That's a real sign of the times, huh? Oh,
Right? Yeah.
crazy. Well, thank you so much for calling. We have to wrap up because we have a hard stop today, but feel free to call back anytime.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you guys do great. I watch all your stuff, so you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Aw,
Thanks,
thanks, Eric. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Oh, I like Eric.
One thing I will say is I was shocked that so many women had issues with coffee dates, and I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
genuinely
well,
didn't know that.
there's like this whole thing too that happens on the internet now where I don't have you seen like this like sprinkle lady?
Yeah, I remember it being like kind of a thing. I feel like it's kind of like
Yeah.
I don't hear it much anymore, but I guess the concept is still.
Yeah, like I don't hear it so much anymore either, and like I don't like 100% remember all of it. But there is a sort of movement that has happened with women where they're just like asking for more, and they're like, "Well, if you're not going to take me to dinner, then I don't want to engage in in this relationship." Which like I mean, I guess like
Yeah,
people can do whatever they want, but
I can see that. And then I also wonder, like, especially if I guess it's like if a guy's in his early 20s, like like trying to date, like,
Mhm.
like I don't know, like pretty frequently, it's probably not sustainable to like take every single person out to dinner. So when they say
Yeah.
that, I'm like, yeah, I feel you because I'm sure that would be really expensive. But I guess you're right. Like, I do understand why some women would be like, he's either being serious or he's not. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand why some people say that. I think it's still silly and I think it's just not realistic, especially in this economy, this day and
Yeah,
age,
that's
this
what I'm
economy.
saying.
Yeah. And also, I kind of like a coffee date. I know we need to get to super chats. I'm sure Lux is like, hello. But I kind of like a coffee date too, because like sometimes if you're
It's less
new,
pressure.
it's less pressure. And also, if you guys are just getting to know each other, I don't want to be locked into sitting with
Yeah,
you for 2
exactly. You
hours.
can take
That's
that
so
coffee to
awkward.
go.
Exactly. Anyway, okay, we're gonna get into our super chats. $5 from Randy Clark, 4026. Make the mistake the new pattern. I don't remember what that was about, but
Oh, your backsplash thing. I think.
know. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Um, $10 from Arjun something, AJ? Nathan? How do you say that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's
You
just
can just say
scrunching.
Nathan if you remember, because he's just explaining that his name is Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. It's taking me a while to get there. Just a scrunching of my full name. Had a scare with my dog at the vet today. She's on the mend. Her streams are getting back to normal and loving your streams too. Oh,
Oh, I hope she's okay. Glad she's on the mend. $5 from Blue Lear. Alyssa, congratulations on winning the gold medal for figure skating. Oh wait, that was Alyssa Liu.
I do love her.
Okay.
She's killing it. I love her energy.
Oh my God. Sorry. My dogs are barking like crazy. I love her. She is so freaking cool. We have an
She is
alt
cool.
girl who won a freaking gold medal, and her name is Alyssa. On behalf of all of Alyssas, I am thrilled about it.
$5 from a Rick. Just want to say thank you both for what you do. Happy Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you. 1999 from Doc Breezy. I will give you $300 to ban George from the show.
Wait, which one was George? What did you talk about?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, well, what did George do?
I don't remember.
Who remembers?
That's how bad my
Did
memory
he say
is.
patriarchy doesn't hurt men? Was that him?
Oh, maybe it was him.
Oh yeah, that was a weird conversation. $5 from Coffee Mom talking about how patriarchy hurts men too isn't to be nice to men. It's an explanation for why men demand authority while being essentially useless. Yeah, I feel like there was some disconnect. Well, no, I mean at the end he did say he did understand where you're coming from, so maybe change his mind.
Yeah. $4.99 from the DJ Money 99. Fun fact, the Civil Rights Act was meticulously constructed to get white people on board. That's why Rosa Parks and MLK were propped up.
Fun fact.
That sounds right to me.
$20. I love you, Alyssa and Taylor. I am so over even beginning to engage the kinds of conversations you get on here, mostly from men. So thank you for doing it, even when it feels like ugh, not at all directed at Pip or anyone like that, by the way. Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. But hey, the one guy said he changed his mind, so a win's a win.
Win's a win. Win's a win. And they're not all crazy. Like some people
Yeah.
call in and they're like insane, but there's a lot of people who call in who are very chill and are just like, I don't know, exploring stuff or want to share. $5 from Aaliyah on a silver bow. Hello. I went to the library the other day and asked the librarian if they had any books on paranoia. She whispered, "They're right behind you." That's great. I love
That's
that.
cute. $5 for Mystic Mind Analysis. A man runs into a doctor's office screaming, "I'm a wig man, I'm a toupee, I'm a wig man, I'm a toupee," and the doctor says, "Relax, man, you're 2 10s."
Oh, TP.
TP! Why did I read toupee? I was thinking wigs and toupee. I'm done.
Okay, and you want to know the truth is I heard you say that and I went back and I said, wow, that's impressive that she knew that was toupee because I would not have thought. And then we got to the end and I was like, oh, it's TP.
Guys, I've had a hard day, okay?
Listen, happens to the best of us. $5 from Sarah Talks Pod. Me not realizing until after my call that I made. After my call that I made my boyfriend sound like a red flag when he's not. I just misspoke because nerves. Girl, you're the one in your relationship. You know. That's what matters. Don't worry about the chat.
Yeah.
We're all operating on literally the most limited information of all time. So you know what's best within your own relationship.
$20 from Space Barbarian 3484. The most disconcerting fact about humanity to me is this: there's no difference between the people of today and the most horrible times of the past and present. Only culture keeps many from being moral monsters. I've talked about this so many times of like, actually that's dark. I don't want to take it there, but yeah, I've had that thought plenty of times.
Yeah, me too. $5 from Charlotte Nova. At Katie Iron Fist says Ruby Bridges is alive and only in her 60s. Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
I think actually she might be in her 70s.
Oh, was that the first?
Yeah, who went to like
okay.
the public school and like
Yeah.
a non-segregated, I guess in Little Rock.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Crazy.
$5 from Charlotte Nova. My bad, I didn't fact check something. Ruby Bridges is 71, but still, this shit is not history. It's going on. It's ongoing. Yeah, whenever I saw it was like a picture or video of her recently, that was like my first time realizing that, which is pretty sad, but
it's crazy.
Yeah.
$20 for Mr. Boricua 10. There be once a lake of gold. It were many a years old. The conquistadors came and gave it the shame. Now the lake be sold. Great show. Hope your day was better than mine. Being part of personnel change at work sucks. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the generous super chat and for a fun little rhyme situation. And I hope that tomorrow's a better day.
I would have like spiraled if I had to read that. $10 from Lord Ben 6584. To be fair, some of y'all women are freaky. One of my best friends is currently reading a dark romance where you get kidnapped by a werewolf and what? And nodding is there. Like, girl, also Trump's State of the Union. Wait, am I reading that? What is
Listen,
nodding?
I will tell you afterwards.
Oh.
Lexi's like, children, I'll tell you later.
No, and I don't know what that means either, so I'm really looking forward to hearing. Okay, great.
I'm not.
That is so funny. Oh, okay. Well, everyone, wow, this is perfect timing.
Wow, this never happens.
Lord. Okay, everyone, stay tuned to watch the State of the Union with Jimmy and Ari. I will be in the chat while I'm also doing my tiles. And maybe next week I'll show you what they look like. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Lux for producing today and Dragon for screening. All of our mods in the chat, all of our patrons. We love ya. And we will see you next week.
You know what? Now I think they were just saying the word naughty, but spelled it weird. Maybe I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
Oh. Damn it! Damn.
That's hilarious.
What is it?